Hey, what's going on? It's that time for Word of the Day, Wednesday. Come on, somebody. Super fired up because, man, I just, like reading the Bible, talking about the Bible, and it will change your life if you let it. So I'm kind of in a little theme going on. So we'll see, how far this goes, how long this goes. But last week I did a message called the Table Turner. I was talking about how Jesus flipped over the tables in the temple. Go check it out. It's on my IGTV, Facebook. You probably got to scroll up my wall or whatever. But right around that same time was another thing that Jesus did that, can have some meaning for our lives. And it's Jesus cursing a fig tree. And all the arborists, I believe that's what the term is, an arborist, one that works with trees and stuff like that, probably, shipwrecked their faith right here. But it's just kind of crazy, right? It's found in a couple of different of the Gospels. But it says, early in the morning the next day, when the disciples were leaving Bethany on his way back to the city, Jesus was hungry. Seeing in the distance a fig tree in leaf by the road. It's pretty important there. In leaf by the road, he went up to it to find out if it had any fruit. When he reached it, he found nothing on it except leaves, because it was not the season for figs. Then he said to the tree, may you never bear fruit again. May no one ever eat fruit from you again. The disciples heard him say it. Immediately the tree withered. Okay, and it's like, and what did that poor little fig tree do to you, Jesus? You may think some people like, oh, that doesn't sound like, Jesus, because, it sounds kind of petty and stuff like that. It's like, nah, Jesus was trying to bring a message, right? Just like him flipping the tables over in the last message that I brought, right? It was this religious system that he was just fed up with. And so he was flipping those tables over to show like, no, this isn't how we're doing things, right? You're not going to turn my the house of prayer into a den of robbers, right? Like, we're not going to rob from people. Like, we want, true worship, and we want to not hinder people from worshiping. What Jesus is doing is he's using this fig tree as a parable, as a example of what's going to happen to the religious system of that day, because that's what that fig tree represented, right? The fig tree had no fruit, but it did have the appearance of life. It had leaves on it, right? Just like the Pharisees of that day. No fruit, but had the appearance of life. They fasted, they went to the synagogues, they prayed, they did all these things that gave you the appearance of life, but they actually didn't have life. They actually didn't have fruit in their lives. And it's just so crazy, just kind of thinking about, our lives. And last week I posed this question, what tables would Jesus flip over in our lives? Tables of unforgiveness, tables of, hating or whatever, maybe that relationship that you're in. And so when we look at it, well, the question I want to pose to you this week is, what areas of your life have the appearance of life? Maybe they have some leaves, right? But there's actually no fruit, right? There's no fruit in that area of your life. Maybe it's your relationship, your marriage, right? It has the appearance like, okay, we could put it all together when people are watching, when we're at church or whatever, but there's really no, actual substance and actual fruit in that marriage. Maybe, it's at your job, right? It's like, okay, I can, pretend and act like I'm doing work or whatever, but there's actually no substance. There's no fruit, right? Maybe it's your walk with God. Maybe it's like, okay, I can go to church, I can, take notes even, or, whatever. But when the rubber hits the road on Monday through Saturday, there's no fruit to your faith. right? And man, it's a tough pill to swallow, and it's something that, man, I constantly run into. I mean, it's just a part of, man, this life. Man, I wish I had the ability to, man, be holy 24/7 and to read my Bible an hour a day every single day and to be constantly in prayer every single moment and constantly in faith. But it's just the fact of the matter is I'm not, right? And that's okay, right? But when we look at it, what's the underlying, man, push is, man, you know what? I want my faith to bear fruit. I want my marriage to bear fruit. I want to bear fruit in my job. I want to bear fruit in my friendships and all these different relationships. And when you have that at the core, right, you will not be like that fig tree that have the appearance of life but no fruit, right? And so, man, as we go out today and go about our weeks, man, let's look at, man, what are some areas, what are some ways that I can bear fruit in these different seasons and different areas in my life. All right. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Hope you guys are encouraged today. See you guys next week.